Blessings, Taurus, and welcome to my channel. My name is Cassandra, and today I will be your tarot reader. In this video, we're going to look at the entire year of 2025. We're going to go month by month. I will pull a card for each month, and we'll see what comes up for you. What can you expect? So these are predictions as well as just basic tarot forecasting. You can watch for your rising sun and or moon sign. However, with these readings, I am more focusing just on the sun sign aspect. Although if I do mention transits, then it'll be from the rising sign position. So just go with whatever you feel with. If you want to watch for other placements, that's fine. If you want to cross watch for other people, that's fine as well. But keep in mind that these are general messages, so not everything I say will resonate or be true for you. However, I am confident that something from this reading will be true for you and will give you insight into what you can expect in that 2025. And I'm not going to focus too much on transits, but I will mention them if they do come up in the reading, because I feel like if I start focusing on transits, then it's going to turn into an astrology video and not a tarot reading. So let's just stick to the tarot. All right, so I gave the cards a good shuffle before recording. So now we're just going to go ahead and start pulling. Already we got a card. So for January, we got the Page of Wands. So this is how you're going to start the year. You're going to start the year with the Page of Wands energy. So this is like a fresh start. I'm also getting a renewal. You're going to be given an opportunity to start over on something or to start something new. But I feel like for a lot of you, it is about getting a second chance. Maybe there was an opportunity that came up this year in 2024 as I'm recording this, and maybe the opportunity fell through or it wasn't right timing or whatever the case may be. I feel in January it will be the right timing. It will come up again. And so I also feel like you don't need to do much, that this opportunity will just come in for you. However, if you feel whatever you intuitively feel right now of what this opportunity could be, that could be it. And if you know it's something you have to initiate on your own, then by all means go ahead and initiate it. Otherwise, I feel that whatever is fated to come in will come into your life in January. There could also be a focus on children or just on your own inner child, connecting to the past, connecting to somebody from your childhood, whether it's friends, family, old classmates, whatever it may be. It could even be a past life connection that you will come across in January. There is definitely young energy here, fresh energy, a renewal, maybe even like a rebirth, you know. There could also be a change in your appearance. It could also just signify your new outlook on life and your new outlook on 2025. Maybe you want to change the way you look in 2025. I also got that for Aries. Aries is going to go through a major transformation with their whole look and everything. So if you have any Aries placements, then this may be really true for you, that you may be changing your look and your appearance. Also getting more comfort, maybe even retreating, something like that. Yeah, so that's basically what I'm getting for January. Just something fresh and something new. I'm also getting the image of like taking something out of the closet, taking something off the top shelf and like dusting it off, giving it a good clean real quick. So if it's something like out of the closet, like you're pulling out like a leather jacket out of the closet and it's got like dust sitting on the shoulders because it's been sitting in the closet for a long time. So that could even be a metaphorical for something. It doesn't have to be quite literal. So metaphorically, you could be taking something out of its storage and dusting it off. Maybe even like a skateboard. That's really specific, but I feel like maybe somebody's got a skateboard and maybe they find it, or they're just like had an urge to just take it out of their garage or something and then get on their skateboard. Okay, so that was like a really specific message, but that's like the vibe I'm getting. So there can be some fun to this, some excitement to this activity as well, because something like skateboarding is really active. And again, something with style, something that is true to you, like something that really speaks to you or was a part of your life will re-enter your life. All right, so that's what we got for January 2025. Let's go ahead and move into February. February, we got Ace of Cups. So I feel there's more of that renewal energy in January overlapping into February, although this time it's a much different renewal energy. I feel like this isn't renewal in the sense that, like, I feel like there's something brand new coming in February. So January could be a renewal, a retrieval, and then February could be just something brand new. A birth, so maybe somebody's giving birth, or there's a new birth in the family. I don't think it's a pregnancy, I think it's an actual birth. So something's being birthed. So if it's not an actual child, maybe even a pet, maybe you have pets, like a dog that's gonna have puppies. It's whatever it may be, whatever brand new birth is happening in your life. Yeah, it's happening in February. So this is the Ace of Cups. So it's something that is highly emotional, highly in tune with your spirit and your soul, your heart space, something that may even have a sense of purity to it or virginity to it. So something that's just pure and new, something that's sacred to you. Yeah, maybe some of you are going to start attending a church or a synagogue or a mosque. There we go, maybe a mosque. So maybe, or a temple of some sort. So even if you're not interested in attending church or anything like that, maybe just visiting a sacred site that speaks to you, even if you don't follow that religion, and if you're allowed to go inside, of course, maybe that's something you might want to do. Maybe there's an opportunity there for you to purify yourself in that way, to be able to feel a divine connection in some way. I do feel it does have to do with a sacred site, though, so it doesn't have to necessarily be like a church or anything. It could even just be nature, or just like, you know, there's all kinds of spots in the world, locations in the world where there's just like sacred energy, very special energy. You know, there's grid lines all over the earth, you know, like the pyramids are built like in a specific spot, right? Stonehenge is built in a very specific spot. So it could just be something like that, where you visit some place, and even whether it's intentional or not, it doesn't matter. You're just going to visit a place that's going to really connect you to the divine. You know, it's going to really bring a sense of peace for you. So there's a lot of divinity, a lot of holiness in February, a lot of maybe even like a baptism or something. So I know I keep mentioning like religious things, but that's, you got to apply it to how it works for you. Okay, I'm not religious either, but you know, I still connect to these sorts of things. And so I believe in all religions. I believe, one of my favorite memes is, I am very religious. I believe in all the gods. And so I definitely relate to that. So I believe there's truth in everything. And so, yeah, whatever it may be, though, for you, I feel it's going to really help you connect to yourself. But I do feel like you have to go somewhere to get it, because it's something you're not going to get anywhere else. Although you can get a lot from sitting at home and meditating, of course, but sometimes you got to go to a place physically in order to tap into that energy. This could also signify new relationships, because it is the Ace of Cups. This signifies relationships. So there could be, if you're in an existing relationship, there could be something new entering into the relationship, and it's for the better, because this is the Ace of Cups. If you're single, maybe you will enter into a relationship. Of course, this doesn't have to be romantic either. These could be any kind of relationship that's you feel a very strong connection to, there could be a past life connection with this person. And so if you're into astrology, try to get their chart if you do meet someone new and see what your guys' north and south nodes are doing. If they have any planets on your south node or vice versa, then you know that they are from the past, a past life. And if there's any aspects to the north node, then that means there's a connection that you guys are here to make in this life. So sometimes you can meet people from a past life to where you make a connection, but it's not supposed to progress into anything else. It's more like you're just supposed to cross paths. And unless there's anything on the north node, then, you know, a past life connection isn't meant to really go anywhere. So it doesn't have to be like direct conjunctions, although those are the like surest indications of it. You want to look at aspects and just like where they fall in the houses, because that will show you what kind of relationship this is with that person. So there could be a karmic clearing as well, because the Ace of Cups is such a purity card, a card of cleansing and renewal. This is representing Mother Mary, and so the Virgin, of course, you know, what we think of as virgin isn't what the Bible says virgin is, in the sense that, like, you know, it wasn't like she wasn't, you know, whatever. I don't want to get into it. Okay, we're not going to go so big, but you know what I'm trying to get into. Now I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't remember what I was going to say. So I guess I'm just going to end it here. Let me see though if I can get it back. Yeah, I can't get it back. I'm sorry. So yeah, I guess we're just supposed to end it. I'm going to listen to my intuition. So that's another thing too. Listen to intuition, even if your ego is just like, no, keep going, keep reading. Like, my intuition's just like, no, we're not supposed to keep going. And I kind of felt that earlier, but I wanted to get more messages out. So let's go ahead and move into March. So for March, we got the 10 of Pentacles. So I feel you could be spending a lot of time with family. March is the beginning. March starts in Aries season and does enter into Taurus season. So we are getting close to your birthday season here. And I feel with the 10 of Pentacles, there could be a lot of connection with family, but at the same time, I'm getting like isolation. So maybe you feel isolated from the family, from a group, which is interesting to get from the 10 of Pentacles, because that's really not, maybe if it was in reverse, but that's just what I'm getting in this reading. At the same time, there's a lot of abundance here, because the 10 of Pentacles is all about abundance. It is all about wealth and prosperity and having it all. It could even be legacies and inheritance and things like that. So maybe you're gonna be thinking about your legacy in March, what you plan on leaving behind for your children or for your future children, or even if you have a business, like who would you leave your business behind to? What kind of legacy do you want? What do you want to be known for in business, or within home and stuff? And so if you are more isolated from the family, I think it's just an opportunity for you to really evaluate your position within the family, your views on family. There could even, maybe there's stuff that comes up, like old traumas that come up that are related to family, and you're having to deal with them. You could take solace and companionship with animals and pets. So maybe I have been getting pets a lot. Like, what did I get in February? There could, like, your dog could be having puppies if you have a pregnant dog. So yeah, and here we have 2 white dogs, and so maybe you're just going to be really a lot closer to animals, or maybe you're going to spend more time with animals, or animals are going to start coming up to you, like maybe a bird. Maybe you're sitting at a park and a bird just pulls up and lands on your shoulder or something. Like, so that just tells me if I were you, I would connect with animals in March, or even a spirit animal. look into spirit animals, meditate, and find out what your spirit animal is. And then when it comes to spirit animals, or even like dream interpretation, it is helpful to read what people say online of what they represent and mean, but you do want to go with what they represent and mean to you, even if it's in just that moment. So, you know, like they say owls are like all-seeing and all-knowing and whatnot, but maybe owl doesn't signify that in your life. Maybe it's something else. So just have discernment when you do research interpretations of anything, especially animals, because everyone perceives animals differently. You know, some people fear snakes and some people love snakes. So a snake can signify something evil and not pure, or a snake could signify the Kundalini energy and your, you know, your chi and all that. And so, it's just your own perception. Also, I would say March is a good month for finances and savings, pleasures, connecting to music, things like that. If you don't have a will, maybe it would be a good time to create a will, okay? Because this is about legacies and what you're going to leave behind. So even if you're like 20, you know, like even if you're super young, I would even start considering it. Even if it's not a legal will, maybe you could just start writing things down. And, you know, even if it's not something serious, it could just give you insight into what you believe and what you would want, you know. So, and I think it's just important to have a plan anyways. You know, do you want to be cremated when you go? Do you want to be buried? Those sorts of things, or something else entirely. And so it is good to think about that in your life at least once, you know, so you have an idea, and then put that somewhere so people, if anything were to happen, because you never know what could happen. And I'm not trying to get dark here, but you know, if anything were to happen, you're prepared. So that could be another message, is to be prepared for the inevitable. Be prepared for not even just so much the inevitable, but for your own fate, whatever that may be, not just death, but just the fate you're going to have in this life, the people you're meant to meet, you know, the jobs you're meant to have, and all that stuff. And so, yeah, this would just be a good month to really. And so I could see why there's a cut off from family. You know, you need to isolate a bit and go within and make plans. And so maybe you're not going to have time for family. So it's nothing negative, like the family is rejecting you or whatever. It's just, this is the energy that we're getting, that you need to focus on your position overall. All right, so that's what we got for March. Now let's go into April. And hold on, I need to get a drink of water. And so for April, we got two cards. First, we got the King of Pentacles. And then we got the Six of Pentacles. And so I find that really interesting, because March we had the Ten of Pentacles, and that is about wealth and prosperity and abundance. And here in April, we come to the King of Pentacles, who seems to be really giving in April. And so this could be the energy that you were embodying, or maybe the King of Pentacles represents somebody in your life that will be giving to you and helping you in times of need. Although I do feel that you are the King of Pentacles here, and that you will be helping and giving to others in their times of need. It doesn't have to be financial. It's just any kind of resource. So time can be a resource as well. And so this may be a month where you're feeling a little more charitable. Maybe you know a lot of people with birthdays. It could also be your birthday in April. And so I mentioned for March that it was going to be Taurus's birthday, but that's not true. It's going to be in April. March is Pisces and Aries, so I got that all wrong. But for April, it's Aries and then Taurus. So you're going to be your birthday month here if you're born in April. Otherwise, May. But either way, it's your birthday season. And so maybe you'll be receiving a lot. Maybe even if you're not receiving a lot of like material abundance, there could be spiritual abundance, although I do strongly feel it's going to be material, because we are dealing with the pentacles here. And so this is just a good month for you to be out and about and to even spend your money. Like, I know that sounds maybe counterproductive, but spending money would be a good thing to do. Like, it would just be good karma, even if it's especially if it's charitable kind of spending, giving, even if it isn't to anybody you need. It just giving in general is good. Again, doesn't have to be money, just any kind of resource. It could be advice, it could be time. Although we are dealing with the material world, it is very much a material thing that you will be giving away. It could also be what you receive, and so I think that's why it's a good month to give, because you will receive what you give. In April, everything's just all there for that to happen and to fall into play for you. Virgo energy is all about giving as well. It is all about your service to other people. So if you have Virgo placement or wherever Virgo is in your chart, I would look into that. I would even see where Mercury is, because Mercury is the lord of Virgo. See where Mercury is in your chart. These will be key. These will give you clues into how this energy may show itself, okay? Where you can give. So let's say Virgo's your 10th house. So at work, pitting more into your career, your vocation, your legacies, and things like that. That's where you would reap your rewards. Okay, so if you don't have Virgo in a 10th house, that may not be a good place to put all your energy into, because you're just going to essentially give to a black hole there, and you're not going to get much in return. So I think that's important. And if you don't know where Virgo is in your chart, that's fine too. Just thinking about the energy of Virgo and looking into what Virgo represents, then I think is enough for you. And even tapping into the planet of Mercury, which is all about communication and the mind and other things like that, will help you enough to tune in and tap into the archetype of Virgo and to bring that kind of energy out. I feel like you're going to be more opinionated and you're going to have more confidence in your opinions. I think it's going to be more or less to do with your opinions have some kind of importance, so they're not so much like personal biased opinions. I think they're just gonna be like, this is King of Pentacles, this is Earth energy, and Earth energy is like, they just say it like it is. And you guys should know your Tauruses, although Tauruses, I feel, deliver a softer blow compared to like Capricorn and Virgo, especially Capricorn. Capricorns can be really cold, and then Virgos can just be really analytical and critical, whereas Taurus can kind of like, Taurus will talk shit to you, but they'll put a bow on top of it, like, because you guys are ruled by Venus, and so, there's like a softness to it. But I feel like there's something really important about your opinions and what you have to say. And maybe you're silent about something, or maybe you're even gonna say less, but what you say is very impactful. So I would keep that in mind too. There could be certain things you say that are just too real for some people, and that's fine, because if it's too real for them, then whatever, because like we can't just people please all the time. And so, just keep that in mind. If you're not looking to offend like your parents or something, like be mindful of what you say around them. Okay. At the same time, I do feel like this isn't really a month for you to be quiet about much of anything. So however you go about saying things, just go about doing it that way. But, be mindful. There could be a need for you to move things around, move finances around. So I don't know anything about Bitcoin or stocks or any crypto. I don't know nothing about that, but maybe you need to move stuff around in that area, because we are dealing with finances here. Maybe transferring money to a different bank or something, or maybe you get married and now you share a joint bank account or something like that. So there is something here about moving something around. It doesn't have to be money, but I'm just going to go with that because, again, Pentacles. And, that's what he's giving in the card. In the image of the card, he's giving money to the needy, and so, or the less fortunate. So there could just be a transference here, transference of funds. Maybe you're moving to another country, and so you have to change currencies. So, things like that. All right, so that's what I'm getting for April. We're going to go ahead now and move into May. So for May, we have the Queen of Swords. Okay, very interesting. I feel like you're going to be in the public eye in May, however that may look. It could be social media. It could just be like your own neighborhood, at work, whatever it may be. You're just going to be out there in the front a lot more. And just like in April and you having to speak up more, I feel like in May you're going to be more comfortable speaking your truth. You're going to be more vocal about certain things. Maybe you're going to be put in the position where you have to be vocal. So like it could be like public speaking, or anything like that. Some kind of speech. So now I'm getting somebody might have to make a speech at a funeral. Unfortunately, it's going to be really impactful. It may not be a funeral for somebody you know. Maybe you are a part of the church, any church, and you got to speak at somebody's funeral or something. So yeah, it could be something like that. Just something, whatever it is, it's pretty major though, whatever speech you have to give. It could even just be like you telling something to a friend, like, so it doesn't have to be on a grand scale, but whatever it may be, whether it's in front of a lot of people or just one person, I still feel that it's gonna be loud and clear, and it's gonna transcend, like it's gonna reach other people. So even if you tell one person, either that person tells other people, or however the message gets around, other people are gonna know. So it's not so much like a secret you're telling it, but it's just something you have to say out loud, and maybe even something you have to just say out loud to yourself. That could be another way this manifests for you. Of course, very general reading, and it's all going to depend on each individual and what is meant to fall into your life. But that's basically what's coming up in May. This is Libra energy, and so you may be dealing with a Libra, or you're just going to tap into this Libra energy. So we go from Virgo to Libra here. So there could be a connection to Virgo and Libra season. That's something you do in Taurus season, Taurus Gemini season, that is connected to Virgo and Libra season. There could be travel, or if you do move to another country, I feel like you're going to settle in. Whatever this travel may be, even if it's not outside of your city or anything, I'm getting settling in energy. Okay, just like, yeah, and that can be anything. So also, I feel like you're going to be more welcoming of other people's opinions. And so maybe the speech you have to give is a group project, or it's not so much one-sided. Yeah, it could be anything. I'm being told to stop, so we're going to move ahead now, and we're going to go into June. We're going to go into June. Okay, so for June, we have the 10 of Wands. So June can be a really busy month for you. It could also be a month filled with responsibilities. And so far this year, responsibility seems to be a major theme here, as well as speaking your truth. And I kind of got that with Aries too, a bit, when it comes to speaking the truth and speaking up, being the voice of the future is what I got for Aries for 2025. And so for you guys, I think it's really about responsibility. I kind of feel like a lot of you guys have been procrastinating. I mean, very Taurian of you. But I feel like in 2024, maybe there wasn't much that you got done, and it could be for any reasons, and don't feel bad for procrastinating. I mean, I definitely love to procrastinate. Honestly, it's like second nature to me. Because it's not so much that I'm procrastinating. I'm just like, I don't know. I just like, I'll do it later, right? I'm not procrastinating. I plan to do it later. I'm still gonna do it, right? And so, maybe that's the vibe for 2024. Like, I'll just do it later, or maybe you just like needed a break from responsibility, and there's nothing wrong with that either. I mean, there's only so much you can carry, right? I mean, look at this guy. He's struggling here. He's got to carry 10 wands. So unfortunately, if you do procrastinate to the point where you don't do what you're supposed to versus, you procrastinate and get it done, I feel like in June you're going to have to make up for it. So for some of you, you are going to have to like admit to yourself, that you've been lazy and not taking care of things, whatever that may be. It could even just be self-care, okay? I feel like there's something in your life that you're neglecting. Whether, like, again, it could be, there could be a reason why it was neglected. Maybe you really just didn't have time for yourself, and that's understandable. I feel like in June it's going to come around to where you're going to have that opportunity to finally take care of it. But because it's been built up for so long, there's going to be a lot you're going to have to take care of. So with that said, if it is whatever it is, make sure you make time for it. Okay, maybe you're going to have to cancel plans, maybe get off social media for a month. That's always good, because once you're off social media, like, you start to realize how much time you actually do have in a day, because we don't really take into consideration that we're on our phones for several hours a day. I mean, I easily can spend an hour on Twitter fucking doing nothing, right? Or, I mean, I'm doing something, I'm on Twitter, but, like, instead of scrolling Twitter, which there's nothing wrong with that either, but instead of doing that, I could be painting, or I could be reading a book, or I could finally clean my bathroom or something, And so, yeah, I think June would just be a good month for you to focus on your own world and your own habits and things like that. Okay. But again, at the same time, this could be something entirely new and different, stepping into your life. And so you have to take responsibility for it now. So again, it doesn't have to be something that you've been putting off per se. However, regardless, whatever it is, June is just going to be a month full of responsibility. I feel like for some of you, there's children involved. Again, with the kids, with the puppy, with the new birth in February. I feel like in June, there's something related to whatever was birthed in February is really prospering in June. And so this could also just be a sign that you can even be moving, and so like that's a big thing you got to do, like pack everything and move. If you have a child or puppies or something, maybe you have to buy a bunch of stuff now. If you had a child and like that's like 3 to 4 month old baby by June. So yeah, like you're probably gonna need new things. I remember one thing about having a newborn for the first year. You're gonna go through a lot of diapers, but like you're also gonna like change diaper sizes a lot throughout the year because your baby's growing. And so that could be like another thing, like something's growing, so you need to make room, or you need to buy something new, or whatever it may be. Like, so yeah, there could be something growing in June. That's why there's a lot of responsibility here. That's why this guy is carrying a lot, because there's a lot coming in. Okay, so it could be many things. Everything I said, it could be any of those things. Again, it's very general, and other people are watching, so it's going to be different for everybody. All right, so basically that's what I got for June. So I forgot to record for July. I did a whole hour of recording and forgot July, so I don't know what's going to happen in July for you, but maybe something forgetful, I don't know, or maybe it's just me that messed up. So here is July. So for July, we got the Page of Cups in reverse. So I could see where that forgetfulness is coming in. I feel like, in June, I mentioned how you need to be out in the public eye, or something you do or say is going to put you in the public eye. I feel like in July, there's going to be the complete opposite. So maybe you're going to retreat and isolate yourself in July. Maybe you stick out from the crowd so much that you're going to feel isolated from the rest of the world. Like you're going to feel like you don't fit in anywhere. So there could be some kind of rejection that happens in July. Some kind of offer is going to be declined, whether you decline it or it's declined to you. Okay, there's just a lot of like rejection here. You could be ending a relationship. You could be setting up stronger boundaries. Maybe you have to put boundaries up on somebody. And, it's like a stop sign. I'm seeing a stop sign. Maybe you have to change your viewpoints. Maybe you have to apologize, or maybe there's something here where you kind of have to like go back on something too. So if it's not any of the things I said, maybe you just have to go back on something, review something. So that's all I'm getting for July. Honestly, it's like really short message, but I think it's pretty straightforward and pretty the message was delivered. And it's funny how I have to come back and record this. I don't have my setup anymore, so yeah, like there's something here with that energy. So there you go. So for August, we have the 9 of Swords. So this could be a rough time for you in August. There could be something that happens in June or in August that kind of puts you into this position, this place. This card is about despair, depression. It's all these negative feelings, all these bad feelings, okay? So this would be a month you really want to take it easy, okay? Maybe you don't want to make major commitments or plans in August, because whatever this is, it's going to take over here. It's going to take over the month. Your mental space could just be, you could just be in the bad mental space, okay? I really feel like there's going to be some kind of death this year. And I know that's really dark, but that's what I'm getting. And I'm not going to sugarcoat. But there could have been a death that happens. And I did pick it up earlier in the year. If it doesn't have to happen earlier in the year, it could happen at any time this year. But there's something here when it comes to a death. It could even just be a death of the self, of your own self. You could go through a whole transformative process here, ego death or whatever people call it, something that you're grieving, or a physical death. It could be a person, an animal, something, or someone, something that comes to an end. I think it's personal. So it's a person, and it's a person, an animal, or something like that, a living thing, and it's either a literal death or it's like a spiritual death, like I said, like ego death or something, to where it's just, and if that's the case, it's going to be you going through it. And so it's not an easy process, okay? I've definitely been there. The past 4 years have been a complete nightmare for me, and I'm coming out of it. But I had to go through, for whatever fucking reason, I had to go through just the darkest time of my life. And it was like a death for me. My old self did die. I don't have her anymore. You have yourself, and certain aspects of yourself stay with you forever. But like who I was 4 years ago, she's gone. All right, she's dead. She's not here anymore. I'm somebody completely new. And so this might be something that you have to go through to become somebody completely new, whether it's, again, spiritual death or somebody passing away that completely changes everything. I feel like in August, there's something you have to face it in August. So again, if it's something that happened earlier in the year, I feel like in August, it's just going to come back in some way. like you're gonna grieve. Maybe a late grievance, something I can relate to. Sometimes I don't, when I get news of someone passing, sometimes it takes a while for it to really settle in and kick in for me. It's usually now when I'm told that they passed away that I start feeling sad. It's usually a couple days later, because I don't know, it just, maybe it's when their soul really leaves and passes when I start to feel it, you know. So yeah, I don't mean to get dark and gloomy on you guys, but I'm being real here with what I'm getting, and this is just tarot, you know. I mean, I take it seriously, but you know, if you don't relate to it, you don't relate to it. If it's not true, then that's great. If it is, you know, it is. So, but I just, you know, just know that I'm here for you. You know, that's why I'm doing these readings, so you have this insight, and so you're ready for it. Okay. And I'm just a messenger. Okay. I'm not God. I'm not the universe. I'm not in control of any of this. This is what I receive, and it's not always fun to receive what I receive, but I'm here with you. And so, you know, just know that everything's going to be okay. And when I was shuffling, this card came out with 2 other cards that were face down, and I was like, I don't want to take that. That's kind of dark. And I shuffled again, and it came up again, and so I got to take it. So that could be like another message, like maybe at the first time you didn't accept it, and now you have to accept it in August. Okay, so don't get me wrong, there's going to be other things that go on in August. It's an entire month, but as far as this reading goes, like this is going to be a focal point for you, either the entire month or at just some point during the month, okay? But this is a point of healing, because it is absolutely necessary to grieve and let go and accept what is no longer here in order to move on. However long that's going to take. For me, it took 4 years of going through a hell that doesn't make any sense to me, that I'm still kind of in it, you know. Some people could just be a couple days. I mean, you know, it really depends on your karma and your journey and what you're meant to experience, all right? So that's what I got for August. Let's go. And at the bottom of the deck, we have Judgment. And so, yeah, I mean, there will be something good that comes out of it. Okay, it's kind of like a rude awakening, you know. With the images, we have these people, like, it looks like they're arising from their coffins, right? They're this is what, salvation, what do they call it? And I don't know, I'm not like entirely I'm not religious, so like there's only so much I know, but there's like a name, resurrection, there you go. So it could be a month of resurrection, and so it's uncomfortable, but at the same time, not like resurrection, like what's it called when you guys, the rapture, right? We're in like the end of the world, and whoever's pure gets to go to heaven, whatever, I don't know, like it's something like that, where you are chosen, you will be saved, but it's uncomfortable. You have to go through this process. So, all right, let's look at September now and see what comes up for you guys. September, we got the Wheel of Fortune. And so this is really interesting, because the Wheel of Fortune isn't a definitive card. You don't know where the wheel's gonna stop. I have no idea where the wheel's gonna stop. Nobody knows where the wheel is gonna stop. It's not up to us. It's not even entirely up to the wheel where it stops. I mean, it's all science and physics, all right? But it's if anything, it's fate. And so September will be a month where you reach a turning point in the year and in your life too, especially if whatever you're going through this year that is major, you're going to come across a turning point. So it could be related to that death I was mentioning. September, you're going to reach a turning point here. For better, for good, it all depends, okay? But with the Wheel of Fortune, just know that it will turn in your favor, even if it's not good, okay? It's in your favor in the sense that this is your fate, this is your destiny. And, you know, these things are meant to happen, unfortunately. Which, you know, if you told me that these things are meant to happen to you while I was in the midst of suffering, I, you know, would have probably lost it. Like, that's not fucking fair. What do you mean? Like, I have to suffer? But like coming out of it, I can say that and be comfortable saying that, where I couldn't have said that in the middle of it. I would have been triggered and mortified by that. And so I feel like September, you're able to come out of something and come out on the other side of something and see the light and see the purpose in it. I think that's like another thing. Our theme for you guys this year is purpose, responsibility, and purpose, which I guess go hand in hand. You could find purpose in your responsibility. That could be the message. So I want to pull another card for September just to get some more clarity. At the bottom of the deck is the World, so I'm just going to go with that, with these two cards. You know, we're like the middle of the major arcana almost, and then the end of the major arcana, which is also the beginning again. And so you're gonna reach the end here in September to something, a situation, and it's a completion. There's a completion in September. So on the bright side, there could be something like you complete a project, you complete training, you complete college, you know. Maybe it's something simple like a video game, like you beat the final boss or something, you know. Or maybe you're a video game competitor, or maybe you go to a tournament finally for the first time, and so it's like, you know, a completion that you know, you mark off a goal. Maybe you fulfill something on your bucket list, you know, so something like that. Like, so I think that's cool too. Like, so you're gonna something here that you've like always wanted to do or have been working towards. You're gonna find a completion of some sort with that, and a reward. So even if you are like a video game competitor and you go to a competition and you don't even place, you don't get first place, second, or third, I think just the fact that you're there is like completion for you. Like that is fulfilling. So September is a month of fulfillment. So there's a relief here. There's a lot of abundance here, however that's going to look for you in your life. All right. So I think that's cool because you're going to get out, and this is Virgo season too. And so it is a month of you know, well, it's Leo going into Virgo. And so it is a month of purifying, of cleansing, renewal. And, you know, like there's Jewish holidays, I believe, in Virgo season. Maybe it's Libra season. Either it's like both, right? It goes into Libra season where, you know, you have holidays where you're forgiven and things like that. Your sins are forgiven. And so that could be like another theme that happens during Virgo and Libra season. So I would look at and what did I say about earlier about Taurus and Gemini season? There's going to be something that happens then, and it's connected to Virgo, Libra. So whatever I said for March, what was it? Or Taurus, so April, May, Taurus, Gemini, something happened. Now you're going to have a completion. So that would be a good time in Taurus and Gemini season to start something new, because you will see a completion. So if you are, I'm just going to keep going with the video game analogy. So you are like a video game competitor and there's a tournament coming up and you got to sign up for it. That would be the time to sign up for it. And then come September, it's going to be the time to compete, okay? So just keep that in mind for the year. And these things will happen. If it's meant to happen, it will happen. So even if you completely forget about this video and what I said, if you're meant to go through it, it'll come up again in your life, okay? I'm just here to like forecast. And even if you forget, your subconscious mind is going to remember this video. And so your intuition will remember it. And so it'll be a full circle for you eventually. Maybe you'll remember again. But either way, I'm just here to read the cards. That's all. So that's what I got for September. Let's go into October. So now we're approaching the end of the year. The last few months, which are my absolute favorite months. I love October, November, December. I mean, I just Halloween, Thanksgiving's cool, I guess, whatever, you know, it's not really a cool holiday you know, you're a native, or if you have ancestors who are native. So like I feel that really deeply, and I have native ancestors. And then we go right into Christmas, which is just like, I fucking love Christmas. Like, you know, and I don't, you know, I'm not religious, but, you know, it is a pagan holiday. And so I think it's just a holiday for everyone. It's not even like belong to the pagans first and they did it first and they put trees in their house first. I think it's just, it's for all of us, okay? It's for all of us to celebrate Christmas, however that looks, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, whatever, like your own thing, Yule, which Yule is actually in January, but if you want to celebrate in December, that's fine too. Either way, like it's just a good time for all of us, and I think we should all celebrate something either way, because it's the winter solstice too, so there's a lot going on for everyone. But anyways, enough of that. Let's look at October. Before we even get to December and Christmas, let's look at October. See what comes up. This is Libra and Scorpio season now. In October, we have the Empress in reversed. So that's really interesting. When I first started recording this, I originally got the Empress in reverse for January. But like I started stumbling my words and like I got nervous, so I started the whole reading over again. So now we got it in October. I think this is a little more fitting. So maybe something in January is connected to October, so that's something to keep in mind as well. Okay, we got the Page of Wands for January. So some kind of renewal. I feel like in October there's going to be an ending to that. New beginning, renewal, whatever it was in January, there's going to be an ending to it, or a pause, a stop. Okay, so maybe not an ending, but there's going to be a stop here. Okay, so this could just be a sign that you need to reevaluate, especially in matters of the Empress. Okay, so this is like family, birth, children, abundance, comfortability, all Venusian things, beauty, food, luxury, things like that, material possessions. So maybe in October there's something you're gonna have to give up physically. It doesn't have to be it's material in the sense that we live in a material reality, and since I practice and I'm learning Kabbalah, that's how I identify the world, as a material world, as a physical world, but in Kabbalah we call it material world. And so it's just anything that exists here in this plane that we live in. There's something you're gonna have to give up here. So this isn't a spiritual thing you're gonna go through. Although, I mean, your spirit is involved in everything you do. I feel like there's something in this world that you have to give up. Something you have to, I feel like you have to let go of some kind of control or responsibility, give up a position. So let's say, for example, at work, maybe you guys have to do a group project, and so you have to give up your independence and now work with a group or something. So there's something here like that, giving up an independence for something, but it's going to be good or bad. So I would just say it's neutral, because everyone's different. I feel like some people, they're not going to enjoy this and hate it all the way through, and then others aren't going to enjoy this but understand it. There's a purpose and reason for it. You have to come together for a group project at work. There's no getting around it type shit. So something like that. Okay. I feel like you're just gonna be really uncomfortable, and I feel it's with yourself, so there could be health issues that come up in October. So I would say in October to go see a doctor and get a checkup, even if you don't feel anything or think anything's wrong, even if you have no warning signs. I think it'd just be a good idea to look over your health. So if you don't even go to a doctor, maybe just clean up your diet a little bit, like stay away from junk food for now, just in case. Drink more water, for sure. Drink a lot more water. Always drink water. Water could solve all your problems, I promise. Like, you have a headache, drink some water. You're really hungry and you don't want to eat, drink some water. But either way, yeah, it could even just be spending time with water too. Yeah, so it's kind of an iffy month. it's not like good or bad. It's just like it's just uncomfortable. I think you're just really uncomfortable this month. So maybe you're pregnant too, because the Empress is a card of pregnancy. And so you just reached a point in your pregnancy where you're really uncomfortable, where you're just mourning sickness all the time. And as I said that, I kind of feel sick. I feel a little nauseous. So yeah, somebody's gonna go through this pregnancy here. Or if you're a man, you're not going through a pregnancy, maybe your wife is. Or maybe you're just gonna have problems with the gut, with your nervous system, with whatever your whatever makes you like want to gag and throw up, whatever that is. You could be experiencing that. Okay, or if you're a woman and you're not pregnant, maybe it's your menstrual cycle. Maybe you're just gonna have like a really uncomfortable one in October, which is, I know, a really silly message, but this is what I'm getting. So yeah, again, like I said, it's kind of just an up and down month. I feel like you're not gonna be really comfortable, but you know, with the Empress, you're okay though. You're still okay. I feel like you're still gonna have everything you need to be comfortable, but like you're just like, if you're pregnant, like there's nothing, you could do all these things to relieve your discomfort and you can still just like be uncomfortable, but at the same time, like maybe your feet hurt and you got like one of those foot spa things you put your feet in, and so like you'll have that comfort of that, right? But like your feet still hurt, but you'll have the foot spa, right? So just like look at it that way. Like it's not like you don't have it and then your feet just hurt and you're suffering. So I feel like you're not going to really so much suffer through it. You just, because you're going to have the resources to get through it. But like it's almost like there's no cure. So yeah, hopefully it's nothing major then. Hopefully it's not a major health issue. So that's what I got for October. Let's look into November. So for November, we got the Sun card, which is cool because earlier the Sun card was in reverse in my deck, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of shitty. Like, that sucks. But it came out in the upright position for you guys. So November, I feel like whatever you're going through this year or whatever you had to go through in October, you're going to feel so much better in November. And so October could just be a month where you have to really take care of yourself and like get over like the worst of it. And then November, you can finally reach this place of the Sun card where everything is just so good for you guys. Everything's going well. I feel like you'll get another relief here. Okay, I feel like you're just gonna be in a really, really good place mentally, physically. So if you are dealing with a death this year in 2025, I feel like November, you're gonna reach a point where you are in a place of acceptance, where you've grieved and you're able to accept and let go whatever it is. And yeah, like things are looking up for you. I feel like some of you are students, or maybe if you're not in like college or school per se, but like you take some kind of online course or something like that, you're going to complete it in November, or you're going to see the results of something in November. Either way, November is a month of results, of completion, of receiving what you've been working hard for, as well as like just coming to a space within yourself where you're so full of life. And you're just so like, I feel like you're going to have a new look on the world. You're going to have just like this fresh, like optimistic view of the world, which is so fantastic. And it feels really cool. And it feels really cool in the sense that it's like you win a competition. And so I feel like there's a lot of hard work to get here, to reach this point, especially at the end of the year, to finally get to the end of the year. And so like this is something that you've earned. So it's not like something that just happens out of nowhere. This is something you've worked hard for and you're earned. So congratulations. You did it. You did it. I have this sticker on my laptop. It's like a star. It's all like messed up. Maybe I'll put it on the screen. And it says, "You did it." I love it. It's like, I don't know, ridiculous. So yeah, you've reached this point. You finally did it, and there's a lot to celebrate. There's a lot to feel good about overall, You could even just have insight, like clarity on a situation. Somebody could finally give you an answer to something, or maybe your prayers are finally answered. So that's another thing that I'm getting. Something that is being answered finally. There's something about a wedding too. So I don't think there's an engagement per se, but if you are engaged, then maybe there's a wedding in November. Or maybe you'll hear about something. Maybe you're trying to book a venue for 2026 and like at like the most popular venue ever. And like it's like really hard. Like you have to be on a waiting list, and like maybe there's like a lottery thing, like where they randomly select people to whatever, right? It could be something like that, and you finally get it. You get put on the list. So that could just be another message, like you're put on the list of something important. Maybe you getting into like an event, a VIP. That's what I'm getting. So that's cool. Like November is like a month where I feel like you could rise to the top. For some of you, your status will change, or you're going to be put into positions where you could sit next to like the big dogs, right? Maybe somebody's a model here, like somebody's watching's a model, or they do makeup or something, and like you land like your first gig to like do makeup for like a runway show or something like that. And so whatever it is, I feel like it's just something big like that, like bougie almost, to where whether or not it's like up your alley, it just like you're gonna be sitting next to important people. I feel, however that looks, whether they're celebrities or whether it's like the CEO of the company you work for or something like that, or like the general manager or whatever. Like it's just something like that, to where you're at the top with them. Okay, so it's like, I don't think it's like you've reached the top, like you're at the top. Maybe you become a CEO, but if you're watching this and you're a CEO, like that's crazy. Like, thank you for watching. Like, I don't know why you're here, but here you are. But I think you're just gonna be like next to people. And so with that, that's an opportunity too. That's a door that's opening for you. That's a way for you to expand. So November, big month of expansion, big month of finally reaching a place in your life where you could just finally like let loose. Like this, we got a naked child on a horse. Like you could finally just rip everything off and show the world what you've got and who you are. So that's November, and I love that. So I'm just gonna stop there, and now let's go into December. So we finally reached the end of the year. Congratulations once again. I think this year has been pretty rough for you guys according to the tarot. At the same time, it's deeply transformative in the sense that you are meant to go through some of these harder points in your life to get to the top, okay? A lot of hard work this year. And when it's not so much hard work, I think just a lot of, having to just work on yourself overall. I do get a sense that there's going to be a major focus on your own self, on what you could achieve and accomplish in the world. Okay, so for December, we have the 7 of Wands. And so you may have to defend yourself. In November, you've reached the top, and now you have to defend your position in December to keep it. Okay, this could even just be like people coming for you, like the haters are coming for you, or people are coming for your spot because you're up there. So there could be competition. It could be healthy competition, like, competing for a position at work, who's going to get it. The person that's been working longer than you, or you who does a better job at what you guys do, so, it could be a very competitive month. I think it could be fun and productive and healthy competition. At the same time, you do want to be wary of people who are competing with you and aren't doing it for good reason. Like they're doing it from a place of like ego and spite, like some like hater shit or just some selfish shit. Whereas you could just be having all kinds of fun and like not taking it too seriously. or just like I feel like you're just like putting your faith into the universe, especially after everything you've been through this year. I feel like you're just like, you know what? I trust the universe is going to put me in the position that I need to be in and give me what I'm meant to have, especially after November. I feel like November, it's just like magical things are going to happen. And so it's going to give you faith in the universe and trust in things working out, because you've gone through the hard shit and you've accomplished so much at the same time that, you know, like these things happen for a reason. So I think in December overall, just be more playful about your competition when it's necessary. Of course, if like some things aren't about playing and having fun, you know, some things are serious matters. But overall, I feel like, at least from your perspective, like you want to approach with a good heart, and you want to approach from a place that isn't entirely selfish to the point where it excludes other people and even yourself. You know, sometimes we could do things from a place of ego that's very destructive, or we could do things from a place of ego that's very uplifting and fulfilling, and you know, has a higher purpose. So I think if you go into December with a higher purpose, and like you it's beyond even yourself and the situation that you're in, I think you could stay in this position, because look, he's at the top of the hill and everyone else is challenging him. So I don't think it's you challenging the world. I think the world's gonna challenge you. And that's pretty typical. If you reached a high position, you know, if you're sitting front row at a fashion show next to a celebrity, like people are going to want to come for that spot. You know, they want to be you. They want to be next to that celebrity. And maybe you're just like, whatever, it's just a celebrity. Like, they're just people, right? You know, so again, like I feel like your stance is going to be like that, whereas other people are going to look at it as like a aesthetics thing, like an image thing. I feel like you're not doing it for the image or the clout. You're doing it because this is who you are and this is what resonates with you. So I feel like a lot of the competition is going to be like just people who are very selfish, and so they're going to compete. At the same time, I think you do have to defend your position either way, however that's going to look. Okay, so even if people aren't coming at you, I still feel like you have to defend yourself in some way, okay, to keep what it is that you have. Okay, and I feel like earlier in the beginning of the reading, I mentioned like procrastination. I feel like in December, like, you know, not to procrastinate. It's not a month to put your guard down. So like there's threats, but it's interesting, like the way they're coming in, and for me in this reading, the way I'm feeling it. Because I don't think you're going to come off this hill. I don't think anyone's going to knock you down, but it's still like, you're still going to have to face it. You're still going to have to defend yourself. Okay. So that's like what I got for December. I don't know if there's anything else that's going to come through. So yeah, defending the title, you know, maybe you're like, you know, the undefeated title that you have. So going back to like the video game thing, maybe you do like win the competition, and now there's another competition and you got to defend your title so no one else can take it, something like that. So yeah, it could just be something fun like that, where it's healthy competition, you know, even if the other people aren't being healthy about it. I feel like the situation itself is good. It's very playful. However, whatever that is, it's very playful. Okay. And this is Mars and Leo energy. So, you know, Leo is very like flamboyant, very like, I'm number one, I'm the king, I'm the best. And then Mars is all about getting it and getting shit done and going head first. Okay. And so I think that's why it's so playful, because it's Leo energy. It's young energy too, so, you know, again, just have fun with it, take it serious when you need to, of course, but just have fun in December. I think I think it's going to be amusing for some of you. Like, some people are just going to come up out of nowhere, like some haters are just going to show up out of nowhere, and you're just going to like be sitting there with a smile on your face, like you're the one catching feelings. I'm totally cool. Like, I don't know what you're on about, but be nice about it, like, yeah, that's just me though. Like, you just gotta be nice. Even when you're talking shit, try to be nice. Whatever. So that's what I got, Taurus, for the year 2025. I hope this reading resonated for you and reached you. And I hope this year you just know you're gonna get through it. It is kind of rough this year, I think, at least based on the tarot, but overall it's gonna be for the better. It's gonna be for you to be able to reach the top and get through things. I think a lot of personal transformation for sure. I mean, which is always happening for all of us all the time. But I feel like for you guys, 2024, I think a lot of stuff had to be put on pause for various reasons, and maybe it's not entirely your fault, maybe it isn't procrastination. And so, but 2025, it's like, now you got to deal with it, okay? But I think it's all gonna happen really quick, okay? Especially if you just get it done, especially if you adopt that Virgo mindset of just getting it done, and not complaining and knowing that there's a higher reason for this, a higher purpose. I think you'll get through this year, no problem, okay? So that was your reading, and thank you so much for watching and getting through to the end of this video. Or if you're watching these month by month, thank you for watching for this month, and for all the other months, if you watched, it has been my pleasure. So take care, Taurus.